There are moments in life when a whisper inside the mind asks, "Is this all you were meant to be?" And in that quiet question lies a calling, not to comfort, not to ease, but to rise, to challenge the invisible chains we forged with our own thoughts. For the greatest battle is not fought in the world around us, but in the unseen chambers of the mind, where beliefs are born and futures are built. Before we continue this journey of transformation, if you value motivational content like this, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. It truly helps the message reach more people who need it. Every action springs from a thought. Every destiny begins as an idea. Train your brain by choosing thoughts aligned with discipline, clarity, and possibility. What you repeatedly dwell on becomes the blueprint of your life. A powerful brain is nourished by learning, challenge, and truth. Replace passive consumption with intentional growth. Seek ideas that stretch your understanding and refine your character. Your brain adapts to what you do consistently, not occasionally. Practice routines that sharpen focus. Reading reflection skill, building goal-setting habits are the silent sculptors that shape greatness. Not every thought is worthy of a home in your heart. Doubt, comparison, and fear enter easily. They leave only when confronted. Strengthen your mental defenses by choosing gratitude, discipline, and truth every day. Success isn't a lightning strike. It is the result of deliberate training. Act even when motivation fades. Courage grows when you move forward despite uncertainty. The mind becomes stronger through struggle, just as muscles do through resistance. Don't flee from the weight of challenge, lift it. When perseverance becomes instinct, success becomes inevitable. If this message stirred something within you, if it reminded you of your potential or awakened a forgotten dream, please engage with this video. Your support helps keep these messages alive. Before we close, comment below one positive mindset or habit you will train your brain with starting today. Remember, the world changes when the mind changes, and your mind changes the moment you choose to rise. Train it with intention, guard it with purpose, and guide it toward the greatness you were created for. The mind is the architect of your future, because every outcome in life is first shaped by the silent conversations happening inside your head. When you understand that thoughts are not random clouds passing by, but seeds that take root and grow into actions, you begin to see how much control you actually have over your destiny. A trained mind does not wait for motivation, it creates it. It does not surrender to doubt, it questions it. It does not consume every thought it encounters, it selects the ones that serve growth. Human behavior is deeply influenced by what the mind repeatedly believes, and people often act in alignment with their strongest internal narratives, not their greatest external opportunities. This is why the way you speak to yourself matters more than the way the world speaks about you. When the mind is trained to see possibility, it opens doors where others only see walls. When the mind is conditioned to focus on solutions, it moves through challenges with strength, rather than being paralyzed by them. Understanding that your mind shapes your future means accepting that your thoughts are not just reflections of your reality. They are creators of it. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, your brain begins to filter experiences in a way that confirms that belief. If you tell yourself that you are capable, growing, and learning, your brain activates parts of itself that seek out opportunities to validate that mindset. This is human sociology at its core. People behave according to the stories they believe about themselves. A well-trained mind chooses stories that empower rather than diminish. It chooses belief over fear, discipline over comfort, and purpose over distraction. Training your mind begins with awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts that drain your energy and challenge them with truth. Replace self-criticism with self-improvement. Replace envy with inspiration. Replace fear with preparation. Every small shift in thinking rewires your brain, influencing emotions, actions, and long-term patterns. The more you practice positive, disciplined thinking, the stronger your mental pathways become, just like muscles strengthened through repetition. And over time, the brain becomes a powerful force working for you instead of against you. When your mind is trained, success is not something you chase, it becomes something you naturally grow into. Feeding your mind what strengthens it means becoming intentional about the information, emotions, and influences you allow into your inner world. The brain is constantly absorbing signals, shaping your beliefs, and forming your behaviors based on what you expose it to. When you surround yourself with negativity, chaos, and low-quality input, your thoughts naturally become scattered, discouraged, and unfocused. But when you nourish your mind with ideas that challenge you, lessons that expand you, and environments that uplift you, your inner world begins to shift toward clarity and confidence. Human sociology teaches that people mirror the energy they consistently consume, and your mindset is no exception. If your daily intake is filled with inspiration, knowledge, and purpose-driven content, your brain begins to reflect that same energy in the way you speak, act, and make decisions. Strengthening your mind requires choosing content that stimulates growth. Instead of passively consuming entertainment that numbs your potential, choose learning that opens new possibilities. Books, educational videos, meaningful conversations, and thought-provoking experiences act as mental nutrients. They stretch your capacity to understand, question, and evolve. Your brain craves challenge the way muscles crave exercise. When you expose it to new skills, new perspectives, and new knowledge, it builds stronger neural pathways. That strength shows in your discipline, resilience, and creativity. Human beings naturally imitate the environment they belong to, so placing yourself in spaces of wisdom and ambition naturally shapes you to rise with them. Feeding your mind also means protecting it from influences that weaken your self-belief. Gossip, comparison, fear-filled news, and pessimistic people drain mental energy and shrink your vision. The brain responds to these signals with stress, doubt, and hesitation. When you intentionally filter out what does not serve your growth, you free mental space for what truly matters. Replacing negative input with positive influence is not about ignoring reality, but choosing a perspective that empowers you to rise above it. The more you invest in wholesome, uplifting mental intake, the more naturally your actions align with success-driven behaviors. Your mind becomes sharper, calmer, and more focused when it is fed with purpose. You begin making decisions from a place of clarity rather than confusion. You respond to challenges with solutions instead of emotional reactions. You start seeing opportunities where you once saw limitations, and slowly the quality of your mental diet becomes the quality of your life. Discipline is the bridge that transforms inspiration into real, visible change, because motivation alone cannot carry anyone to long-term success. Human behavior naturally seeks comfort, familiarity, and ease, but discipline teaches the mind to operate beyond emotion. It trains you to act not because you feel like it, but because your goals require it. When you practice discipline, you reshape your identity into someone who follows through, someone whose actions match their dreams. Every time you honor a commitment to yourself, your self-respect grows. Every time you show up when it's difficult, your mental strength deepens. Discipline is not about pressure, it is about alignment. Aligning who you are with who you want to become. When your daily choices support your future, instead of your comfort, your brain rewires itself to prefer progress over procrastination. Turning inspiration into transformation happens when discipline becomes a habitual part of your life. You may wake up inspired, but only discipline turns that spark into a routine of growth. Without discipline, dreams remain ideas. With discipline, they become achievements. Human sociology reveals that people thrive on predictable patterns, and when you create structured habits, your mind feels safer and more capable. Discipline eliminates the mental chaos of indecision. Instead of wondering what to do each day, your habits guide you. The more consistency you build, the less effort it takes to maintain momentum. Discipline becomes a silent engine that pushes you forward, even when your energy feels low. Discipline also teaches delayed gratification, one of the strongest predictors of long-term success. It trains your mind to value future rewards more than temporary pleasure. When you choose to study instead of scrolling, exercise instead of sleeping in, or work on your goals instead of wasting time, you are shaping a stronger and more resilient version of yourself. These small decisions accumulate into powerful outcomes. People who master discipline often seem lucky, but their results come from daily choices others weren't willing to make. Discipline transforms your mindset from wishing into working, from hoping into executing. Training yourself to be disciplined means breaking old patterns and replacing them with intentional routines. It means setting boundaries with distractions, respecting your own time, and holding yourself accountable even when no one is watching. Discipline strengthens your character, sharpens your focus, and anchors your purpose. It turns your potential into reality by giving your dreams structure, direction, and unstoppable momentum. Guarding your mind from negativity means taking responsibility for the thoughts, influences, and environments that enter your mental space, because the mind is deeply shaped by what it repeatedly absorbs. Human sociology shows that people naturally mirror the emotional climate around them, and if that climate is filled with doubt, fear, and criticism, the mind begins to reflect those same patterns. Negativity is powerful, not because it is true, but because it is persistent. It slips in quietly through conversations, social media, past experiences, and even your own internal dialogue. If left unchecked, it creates mental fog, lowers confidence, and convinces you to settle for less than your potential. Guarding your mind does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It means refusing to let destructive thoughts take root. It means noticing when your energy drops after certain people or situations and choosing not to carry that heaviness with you. You protect your mind by becoming aware of what triggers self-doubt, stopping it early, and replacing it with clarity and truth. The more you filter out negativity, the more space you create for strength, creativity, and focus. Guarding your mind also requires setting boundaries with people who drain your enthusiasm or constantly highlight your shortcomings. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world, especially those who speak from insecurity rather than wisdom. It is okay to distance yourself from voices that belittle your dreams or criticize your growth. Your brain absorbs repeated messages, and if those messages are small, your vision becomes small. When you choose uplifting company, supportive relationships, and positive role models, your mind naturally gravitates toward higher thinking. Another part of guarding your mind is learning to challenge negative self-talk. Your inner critic can be louder than the outside world, but it is not always right. Question the thoughts that tell you you're not capable, not worthy, or not ready. Replace them with thoughts grounded in action, progress, and possibility. Over time, your brain learns to identify negativity quickly and reject it with confidence. You also guard your mind by taking control of your environment, cleaning your space, limiting time on toxic platforms, and choosing content that nourishes instead of depletes you. These small choices send strong signals to your brain about what you value. A guarded mind is not a closed mind, it is a focused mind. It stays open to growth, but closed to anything that threatens peace, purpose, or progress. When you protect your mental space with discipline and awareness, you create a powerful inner foundation where success, resilience, and clarity can thrive. Training your brain through purposeful action means choosing movement that aligns with your goals rather than waiting for the perfect moment or ideal circumstances. The mind becomes stronger when it is challenged, stretched, and directed toward meaningful tasks. Human sociology tells us that people often hesitate because of fear, not because of lack of ability. Purposeful action interrupts that hesitation. When you take even a small step toward your goals, you weaken the power of doubts and strengthen the belief that progress is possible. The brain learns from experience, and every intentional action builds confidence, clarity, and momentum. Instead of thinking endlessly about what could go wrong, you begin to see results, even if they are small. Those results teach your mind that growth comes from doing, not dreaming. Purposeful action trains your brain to value progress over perfection, effort over excuses, and dedication over distraction.